I think you say with Tesla, they're in a league of their own. What does that mean?
Yeah, so that means Tesla started producing, high volume passenger cars, electric passenger cars in 2012. And we're still, entering into 2022 without anyone, really getting to a similar point. So they are about like 10 years ahead of the rest of the industry. And what that's turned into is economics that have nothing to do with the economics of the traditional car manufacturing business we've known about for decades. They are still very small, producing a run rate of just 1 million cars. And they have gross margins that are about at 30% gross margin, which is like more or less double the average profitability of the industry. They are selling cars that you have to wait for between 6 weeks and actually 6 months. They are meeting a demand that is way, way above what they can line up in terms of production. That's the thing that puts them in a league of their own, where that's a fate that is very different from what we've known about car manufacturing in the last decades.
And so that leads you to believe, even at this level and with the amazing run in the stock of late, that it is what? That it is cheap based on the estimates you see for the company in the out years?
Yeah, let me take your question this way. I just noticed this morning, Tesla is exactly valued the addition of the market cap of all other car manufacturers in the world. And so you could think, well, nah, that's too high. But I actually think it's way too low. Tesla should be worth several times other car manufacturers, given they're creating this league of their own and they're totally disrupting this industry. Remember when Apple was worth the addition of the market cap of all mobile phone manufacturers. Was Apple an expensive stock or a cheap stock? It was a cheap stock.
A league of their own. It may be their own now, Pierre, but I certainly can hear the voices out there of people watching saying, but what about all the other car manufacturers that are making great inroads in terms of developing their own EV fleets that will pose a significant competitive threat to Tesla? Yeah,
absolutely. I think you're completely right. Tesla is on a league of their own, but they are not going to play by themselves. They are going to be in a very competitive market. So you see two things happening. Traditional car manufacturers are taking the turn. It's very challenging. It's very difficult. You need to totally reinvent yourself. You suffer from a lot of legacy. You have so many things you do the old way that you need to change to be competitive. So they are going to be competing with Tesla, but they are not going to be in the same league. They are not going to be as cost efficient. They are not going to meet as much demand. So they are going to compete, but not on the same league. And then you have new players getting into the market. You know that we are talking a lot about Rivian this week for some obvious reasons. These players are coming up with very interesting products, very interesting positioning, and they are all trying to get to play into the market. But they are coming in about 10 years behind Tesla. So they are not going to be in the same league, but they are going to play in the market. I am probably, one of the most bullish analysts on Tesla, and I expect them to get, in my craziest dreams, around 20% market share, not more than that. So you still have 80% of the market to grab for others.